UFC welterweight Austin Vanderford began his martial arts journey at the age of 6, developing his wrestling skills in the quiet town of Ninilchik, Alaska, all while dreaming of one day competing on MMA's biggest stage. Along the way, he found more than just success in the cage. He also discovered a shared passion for combat sports with UFC veteran Paige VanZant. In this edition of Unbreakable, we dive into the journey that prepared Austin for the bright lights of the UFC Octagon.
Vanderford was an All-American and national champion at Southern Oregon, and that was his path to mixed martial arts.
This sport is filled with so many ups and downs. I knew if I just stayed the course that eventually I'd get to the UFC.
Fight fans know him well, though. Of course, married to UFC veteran and combat sports superstar Paige VanZant.
It is really important to have a strong team and people who love you through the highs and lows of fighting.
Having a good team around me and my wife, Paige, it makes it so much easier.
Together, we're taking on every opportunity that is in front of us.
I started wrestling at the age of 6. I still remember to this day my dad asking me like, hey, do you want to get into wrestling? The first thing I asked him was, well, can you punch and kick? I went on, wrestled, won a couple of state championships in Alaska in high school. I took a late opportunity to go wrestle in college and eventually won a national title.
I go back and keep training and hopefully get into some MMA.
My first amateur fight was an Indian casino in Oregon, and I ended up finishing him in like a minute. And that kind of propelled me on. At that point, it was just maybe fight one weekend and fight 2 weekends after. I really wanted to fast track and get going.
To get in the hotel or like to get up the elevator.
Paige and I met in 2017 at Gracie Baja in Portland, Oregon. We were training there and she kind of had an eye for me, and of course I had an eye for her. It's so cliche, but it was love at first sight. She was already a star in the UFC and in the women's division.
Oh my! She rocked her!
It was surreal seeing her on TV, and I'm just coming from this small little village in Alaska and never really experienced much stuff like this. My mom was a big fan of her, and she would call me like, Austin, I think you're training at the same gym as Paige VanZant. I'm like, yeah. Then the next day I'd call my mom like, yeah, Mom, remember, Paige, I'm actually going to take her on a date tomorrow. And none of my family could believe it. It was kind of unbelievable. As soon as we started dating, she had a fight maybe a few months after, and I immediately was in her corner.
12-gauge Paige VanZant, the former strawweight, who has not fought since December of 2016. And at 125 pounds, she says she feels as athletic and as capable as ever.
He's been in my corner since I met him. I couldn't imagine fighting without him there.
Being married to someone who is also in a combat sport, we both understand what each other's going through.
Oh.
We have such a unique dynamic. Just to be able to share our love and support for each other, how we're able to balance a really healthy relationship on top of being professional athletes.
I knew eventually I'd get there, and I could just see all the opportunities she was getting and everything that came with being under the UFC umbrella. And it was something that I wanted. In 2018, I got the opportunity to fight for Dana White's Contender Series.
We were really excited for him to get the opportunity. I knew how talented he was, I knew how much skill he had, and I really thought that was his moment.
I had no doubt in my mind I was gonna go out there and earn a contract. I actually got dropped in the first round. It's kind of those moments where you really look into your heart and your soul and decide like, man, do I want to do this or what?
Right, a big left from Vanderford. It was his turn.
Instinct took over and I continued to fight, and I eventually went on and finished the guy in the second round.
Austin Vanderford takes a shot, dishes one out.
After I got the finish, I was like, man, it's over. I'm in the UFC now. And when it came time to read the contracts off, I didn't get called. I actually am thankful for that because I got to really face some adversity and come to some crossroads where it's like, man, do I want to keep doing this? Am I built for this? And it made me really look down into my soul and decide like, yeah, this is what I want to do. Fast forward, and that same year, Paige and I got married. I took a fight a week after our wedding, and I went out and knocked the guy out in the first round, but I still never really lost track. My goal was always to be in the UFC. I had made little pit stops along the way. My UFC debut came about on really short notice. I was just excited. I was ready. I felt like all my dreams had came true. Warming up in the back and seeing her is something that is really important for me.
I feel like my experience in the UFC gained some insight for him. When he made the walk for his UFC debut, it didn't feel unfamiliar.
Standing under the lights in the tunnel right before you make the walk, it's so much different than anything I ever experienced. Everyone's there to watch this show. It's an empowering feeling.
Big life moment for Austin Vanderford as he makes his first walk to the UFC. Fight fans know him well, though. Of course, married to UFC veteran and combat sports superstar Paige VanZant.
It was just excitement to be under the lights and hear my name called. It was exactly what I had envisioned and dreamt of.
Austin's best skill set, shall we say, is the wrestling. That's what he's known for. That's what brought him here in the first place. There's the first takedown. He's gonna try to get up. Be ready for it.
The first round started, and it went exactly how I envisioned it going.
Suffocating on the ground, and now he swings into a great position. Oh, he readjusts, and now he's close to the finish.
30 seconds!
I almost got a finish in the first round. And I felt like if I had 10 more seconds, I was there. So then we went into the second round, and kind of the same exact thing, got a takedown and got him in a position where he wasn't gonna get out of, and I just started landing strikes.
That'll do it! Welcome to the UFC, Austin Vanderford. What a journey it's been, and what a show he puts on in Seattle.
What's really special about our lives is we truly understand what each other's going through. He understands every single piece of that and is able to just guide me through a lot of my life. What do you get more nervous for, this or fighting?
Fighting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this.
You don't get nervous?
The first couple I did.
Yeah.
But it was more so like seeing how you would react taking a slap, and now I just have so much confidence. Like, you just have a brick chin, so.
Yeah.
I think there's a really good chance that she goes to sleep.
I have definitely adapted to the opportunities that have come my way. I really like to take things on that excite me and get me excited for the next step. Power Slap's my next venture.
Watching Paige go from being in the UFC to bare knuckle boxing, pro wrestling, now to doing Power Slap, she had another opportunity to make a big name for herself, and so she went on into that.
A familiar face, 12-gauge Paige VanZant, just 30 years old, had a good career in the UFC, went on Dancing with the Stars, finished second. Her husband, Austin Vanderford, recently won in his UFC debut, and she is now 2 matches into her Power Slap career.
She loves to perform. She loves being under the lights, and I feel like she really gets to showcase her personality in Power Slap.
In the past, in her MMA career, she broke her arm several times. She didn't want to slap with the right hand because it might re-break. This time she's like, hold on, I'm right hand dominant. I'm way stronger with my right hand. Why wouldn't I throw my slap with my right? That's what we're gonna see tonight.
12-gauge Paige VanZant.
I love seeing her smile and the feeling of victory.
Animal. Let's go again. Oh, you beast. Let's go. Let's go, guys. Come on.
Our story is a crazy, dedicated, kick-ass love story.
We're really there to anchor each other down and help each other emotionally.
I am so proud of my husband. I know he's meant for really big, incredible things. At the end of the day, we have each other, and it's the biggest accomplishment I've ever had.